Hi my fellow Scriabinoids and welcome to the Scriabin Sonatas lesson series. Today's course is going to be on Sonata number 1, and this is the short version, the demo version of the course. If you would like to purchase the full version, of course the link is in the description and there is a discount available for you. It's built in if you are buying it during the first week after the release of this video. I'm including an annotated PDF score upon the purchase of the course. The score contains lots of my markings and a lot of material that I'm going through during the full version of the course. Everything that I could annotate, possibly, I'm including in the PDF. Don't forget to check out my YouTube playlist on course demos and piano tutorials. I'm linking it, of course, up here. And also check out my digital album on the Complete Piano Sonatas by Alexander Scriabin, available on all the streaming platforms. The link is down below. So today we're diving into the Sonata number 1 in F minor, opus 6. This is the earliest published sonata, widely influenced by the Romantic music. Scriabin also wrote 2 early sonatas. They do not have an opus number. They are very early works, and we're not going to go into that direction. We are working on the officially first sonata, opus 6. It consists of 4 movements, with the last one unusually being a funeral march. This is the only sonata in which we have a repeat sign at the end of the first movement's exposition. The young, passionate composer was leaning on the classical standards, but not without the first signs of being a revolutionary. This is a very demanding piece technically. When writing this piece, Scriabin was going through a very difficult phase of his life. He has damaged his right hand, and maybe that was one of the reasons that the sonata includes a funeral march as the finale. You are more than welcome to read up on it from various sources. I'm not going to go too far into history or biography of Alexander Scriabin at the moment, because this is a course on interpretation with technical aid and not on music history. I won't be providing any lists of references since this is not a scientific work, but rather a personal intake with lots of impressions, information, associations, and explanations of my interpretational decisions that will hopefully help you in your exploration and study of Alexander Scriabin's works. So the first thing I would like to talk about is that the main motive, or rather the main elements, the main motivic elements, the main 3 notes in this sonata are, of course, the tonic, the F, the G, the next one, and the A flat. So the first 3 notes of an F minor scale, they bear a huge thematic significance because Scriabin builds a lot of material upon these 3 notes, and we will be figuring it out along the course of working through the piece. So the first movement, Allegro con fuoco, a typical sonata allegro, very, very demanding technically, but a very classically structured form. We have 9/8 and a very furious passage starting up the piece immediately. Off. Let's figure out what to do in here. It has to start strong, but remember that it's a pickup and then there will be a crescendo. So strong, but with the room to develop it further dynamically. And for the right hand, be careful here so it's not too loud. I know it's a downbeat, but we have to have this room for development. I mean, for the further development of the passage. So let's start strong, but not too strong. And this is where you're gonna go, but that is leading you towards the next downbeat. I think the pedal should be off. There is an end of the slur, and then this is the second part of the passage. I treat it all as the same passage. The fingering for the right hand would be 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 5, and then I cross to have 1, 2, 4. I do not have any better fingering, so I encourage you to use this. If you find a better fingering, you're more than welcome to use whatever works for you, but I think this is the best fingering. So one more time, slowly go with the weight of your hand from the shoulder down into the keyboard and try to play as legato as possible. Off, sforzando here, so this is very strong. Accent off. The next one. Off, same thing, but a different harmony. So he goes into the 6th, and now again off, and he will continue developing the material further. Pick up to measure 5. Legato, legato. And if you can, if you have big hands, maybe it makes sense to use more of the 4th finger. But here I use 5, 5 for example, and 5 again. And I tend to use 4 for the black keys when I can. Here, of course, it's 5 downbeat of the measure 6. And then the 4th finger, and 5, 4, 5 here. And 5, maybe change to 4 to create legato. And then, of course, 4, 5, or 5, 5 if it's convenient, but I think 4, 5 is better. And you also can have this element of a slur. So, of course, we can't connect everything, but we should try to physically connect the material under a slur when we can, at least the top voice. So once again, pick up to measure 5. The left hand is doing something similar as before. And here, make sure that you don't play this 2nd beat accented, because you will stop the movement and then it will feel that you're dragging. In order to not drag, avoid accents unless it's written or unless this is your final point, the final downbeat, the final goal where you're going towards during a passage. So quiet now, continue, continue, don't stop, and continue again. Off. Notice please that there are 2 dotted 8th notes for these octaves. Last beat of 6. Yeah, so, and then the 8th rest comes for the left hand. So the left hand only goes off after the B flat in the right hand, the octave, has arrived. Continuing. 5, 5. I use 5, 5, 5 for the left hand. And then I flip here. So I use 5, 3, 1, and then I jump towards 2. But if you're comfortable, you can go ahead with 5, 4, 2, and 1. I'm not comfortable with this. I have very small hands. For me, it's safer to leap. I know how to leap, and I'm not so secure if I try to cover larger chords in one go, in one roll. Of course, I can't reach the 10s. If you can, you don't have to roll, you don't have to flip. Good for you. Not my case. Your sforzandi are on the pickup. That's the way he wanted it. So you push off from here and land and take off. So strong. And now phrasing towards this one. But here you have a take off easing out, so they kind of go against each other. Sforzando. here is very important to know the hands choreography, as I say, and there's going to be an accelerando. So you go here, that's where you land, and this is off. And this is your pickup, and you land here. 1/4 maybe here, and then again you land in here, and off, and you land in here. So off, up, down, you have to plan all of that so you don't just end up jumping around the piano, still thinking of phrasing, connecting. That's how to practice. One more time. And the movement is always different. Then when you feel comfortable, you can connect two groups together, and then so always knowing where exactly you are leaning, and then you connect everything. But in your mind, you still have to subdivide into groups of 4 groups of 3, and then 2 groups of 6 maybe. But internally. And now, again, sforzando, and another one. And then it's the similar material as we've had in the first movement. So let's go over this part from the pickup to 73. Tenuti in the right hand. Phrase in the left hand. Make sure here you land with 4. So 1, 2, 4, 1, 5. Yeah, and then pedal off, everything off, new stuff. Ta-da-da, off, ta-da. So make sure you don't create chaos out of this material. There's a lot of sound, it's very loud, so we need to breathe. Now, shorter passage. 1, 5, 1, 5, that's it. So push off against the 5th finger here and send your hand upwards by using this energy. And now, piano. So I prefer to take off every time, so you can hear this more, better. And accelerando. Maybe take off, or maybe land with the same pedal, but just make sure you change the pedal on the downbeat of 81. Sforzandissimo. I like taking off sharply the pedal for the fermata. So this was the lesson on Scriabin's Piano Sonata number 1. Thank you so much for being with me. The full lesson is available to purchase. The link is, of course, in the description. There is a discount if you're buying it during the first week after the release of this video, and I'm also including the score PDF with my annotations of nearly everything I'm going through during the entire course. Don't forget to check out the playlist with my piano tutorials, and all the links are provided in the description as well for everything that I'm doing. If you are interested in having piano lessons with me, please contact me via the contact form on my website. Again, everything is down below. I would love to hear from you if you like my teaching style and if you would like to learn with me. Personally, I'm very happy to help you not only with Scriabin, I teach all kinds of classical repertoire. If this video was interesting useful and inspiring for you. If you have learned something, if you have new insights, please hit like and subscribe to this channel. And there are interesting things that are coming up after this series of video courses on Scriabin Piano Sonatas. I'm so grateful that you have entrusted me instructing you. I'm very grateful that you have been with me during this course, and I wish you all the best of luck and lots of patience working on Scriabin's music. I will see you in the next one. Bye.